Warning: this article contains language some readers may find distressing. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers are advised this story contains the name of a person who has died. A series of text messages sent by a Northern Territory police officer have been exposed during the coronial inquest into the death of Kumanjayi Walker. The messages were downloaded from Constable Zachary Rolfe's phone following his arrest in November 2019. Rolfe was charged with murder after he shot and killed 19-year-old Wulpiri teenager Kumanjayi Walker in the remote community of Yendamu, almost 300 kilometers northwest of Alice Springs. Read more: Wall Street steadies after worst sell-off in years. All eyes on us. Earlier this year, a jury found him not guilty of the charges and he has since returned to active duty. The texts contain exchanges between Rolfe and several members of the NT police force, including high-ranking officers who were not named in court, in the months leading up to the shooting. Yesterday, Sergeant Anjali, the current officer in charge at Yendamu police station, appeared as a witness in the inquest, describing the messages as disgusting and unacceptable. In one text, dated February 28, 2019, Rolfe described Alice Springs as being like the Wild West with all rules. In a second exchange, an unnamed officer texted Rolfe saying heard you had a rough arvo yesterday. Grubiev. Read more: China Xi visits Kazakhstan ahead of summit with Putin. Rolfe referred to indigenous people as Xi in his response and was also quoted as referring to indigenous people as Neanderthals who drink too much alcohol and Counsel assisting the coroner Dr. Peggy Dwyer asked Jolly, "Do you agree with me, Sergeant, that it is shocking to hear a serving member of the police force, in 2019, use that blatantly racist, disgusting term to refer to an Aboriginal person?" Jolly replied, "Yes." Jolly also told the court she was shocked and surprised by the messages and that they did not reflect the mentality of the force as a whole. Family members of Walker have called for disciplinary action to be taken against the officers involved. It is absolutely horrific, though not surprising, to hear some of the text messages that were downloaded from Zachary Rolfe's phone, a statement from the Walker family representative, Samara Fernandez Brown, said. Read more: Melissa Caddick inquest hears husband too busy to speak to police after wife's disappearance. It is woeful that amongst the authors of some of those text messages are high-ranking officers like a sergeant. Elizabeth Katakarinja, a member of the Parampuri Committee and Wulpiri elder from Yendamu, also issued a statement. "It's good that these text messages have been shown to the public for the first time," she said. "It really hurts all the family members and community after what has been done to our people and to find out what some people are calling us." The text messages have been the subject of significant debate since the beginning of the inquest. Read more: Teenager dies after car crashes into fence at RAF base last week. Rolfe's lawyers raised objections to them being introduced as evidence. Today, legal representative for Rolfe David Edwardson and representatives for the NT Police Association objected to the texts being used in cross-examination. The legal representative for the NT Police Force, Ian Freckhelton, told the court the messages risked reflecting poorly on the force as a whole. "What is being traversed with this witness is sensational," he said. "It is important, Your Honor, that a misimpression not be propagated that this modest number of offensive utterances by text messages be imputed to the whole police force. To do so would run the risk of diminishing the respect in which the force is generally held and the trust that is reposed in them, and that, if that occurred, it would be a most unfortunate outcome of this inquest." Coroner Elizabeth Armitage overruled the objections. "In my view, it is appropriate to receive evidence from this experienced police officer, and in my view her knowledge as to whether or not this is the kind of communications that she is aware of or not, and what she might do if she became aware of these sorts of communications, is relevant to this inquest," she said. The inquest is set to hear from more than 80 witnesses over the course of the next 3 months.